Ooh, hello, hello. And are we live? Let me double check on my phone here. I always wait for that notification. Are we live? I'm still waiting for that notification. Am I really live? It looks like I am. I should be live on the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page. And oh, good, this looks like there I am.
I should be live on the
Yes, I am live on the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page, and I am live on our Janome Canada Facebook page, and Janome HQ YouTube channel, and Janome America's YouTube channel. So yes, any place that we can share the Janome love. I love it. Oh, lovely. Now I see notifications. Again, there's always that delay. I always panic. Oh, is anyone going to join me today? And yes, lots of people are coming in. This is wonderful. I certainly hope everything is going well with everyone today. It's a beautiful day here in Collingwood at my palatial estate. Yes, I am Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada. And yes, I am back from my palatial estate in Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. I live about 2 hours north of Toronto. A beautiful sunny day. Can you believe it's already middle of July? Wow, time is going on very fast. But luckily, what I'm going to show you today is, we can get these projects done fast and easy. It is so fun that we can make more use of our Janome embroidery machine, regardless of which model it is. Yes, I'm going to be on the fabulous CM17 today. But again, what I'm going to show you can work on any Janome embroidery machine. So you may be able to tell, oh, my voice is a little hoarse. I may be coughing a little bit during this presentation. I hope not. But yes, I'm just going to persevere because we've got lots to share. So let me flip around here to then show, whoops, show that we have, there we go, camera. There is so much we can do, again, that we can get more from our Janome embroidery machine. Now, yes, I happen to be on the fabulous CM17 here today, but what I'm going to show, again, will work on, your Skyline S9 and your 550E, 500E, 9850. It'll work regardless. So what we're going to talk about is brush out embroidery. And you may be very unfamiliar with that term. Now, Janome has had this brush out embroidery kit for about good 20 years. But, we don't always feature things at the time. New products come out, so old products come, go to the wayside. But look at what we can do with this fabulous brush out embroidery kit. Now, here is my one size hoop. These embroidery designs come in many different sizes, but isn't this cute? So I stitched the, fonts built into our machine for my niece, Sydney. I can't believe her birthday is coming up next week. Now she'll be 30, but yes, isn't this cute? Ballerinas, everybody loves ballerinas. And look at this tutu. It's fuzzy. Can you see the dimension of that? Isn't that fun? So the embroidery design is this beautiful ballerina, but the brush out embroidery comes with, we have yarn that we couch on. So in previous presentations, I've talked about yarn couching, but now we do one step further and we brush out that yarn and make this big fluffy tutu. Isn't that fun? So, from Pennsylvania, lovely. Oh, it's from Bruce Peninsula. Oh, hello. It is great to see you all. So isn't that adorable? So we can do so many things with this brush out embroidery. How about, ooh, look at this, brush out embroidery. Isn't this adorable? This this design reminds me of the, snow monster from the Rudolph Christmas special. Isn't it cute? So you'll see some of the designs, or again, they have a traditional embroidery component where it's a stitching, beautiful stitching, by the way, beautifully digitized. So there, all that beautiful stitching. And then we have the yarn element, again, couched down. So it's similar to the embroidery couching that a number of our machines have, But instead of just couching the yarn down, and again, that looks very cute, but oh, from Paris, hello, hello. Paris, France, that is. So yes, then this looks adorable, but look at that. Isn't that so cute? All that fluffy yarn brushing that to make it very textural. So again, what kid wouldn't love this? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I need a little drink of water. Again, my voice, that's the trouble when you talk for a living and you talk and talk and talk. Mm. So, yes. So, with this brush out embroidery, again, part of our designs are stitched like this cute little girl. Isn't she adorable? Look at that. They are stitched, again, beautifully digitized, and then the yarn couched on top of that. So in this case, it is not brushed out, and some of the designs have that where they're not brushed. Look about this. If there's designs for everyone, there's 100 designs. So there's a design for everybody. So let's say you're a knitter or you're making, oh, a tote bag or a yarn bag for your friend. You can add this cute embroidery where the needles are embroidered, but then here with the different yarns. Isn't that cute? Or how about, yes, Christmas is just around the corner. So with Santa, again, his beautiful face there, beautifully stitched, and his hat, but then with the brim of the hat, a little pom-pom, and of course the big beard. Look at that texture with that yarn all couched down and brushed out. So isn't that cool? So what this is, let me get my little design back up here. So what this is you go to your fabulous Janome dealer and you get the brush out embroidery kit. Now it says for memory craft embroidery machines. So again, all of our Janome embroidery machines, it will work with. There is the part number. There is the part number there, and full instructions in the blister pack where we can open it up, look at all the instructions. Now, again, this is like 20 years old. So look at the embroidery machines then. This is probably like the 8,000 or 9,000 that was out then. But again, it will work with all these embroidery machines now. So that's why I thought it would be very fun to talk about that. Even though this came out years ago, it will work with our new embroidery machines. So in our embroidery, brush out embroidery kit is this cute little brush in its little box here. And it is this very sharp there little wire brush. And you can see some of my yarn already in it. To clean it out, I just take my tool, the seam ripper, whatever, you pull out that yarn. So this brush will last you forever. And what we do, again, when we're doing the embroidery, brush out embroidery, again, that we're brushing this yarn to make it all nice and fluffy. So it works out so well. It is so cool. So that comes included with your little kit here. And then, oh yes, we have things like, oh, a thread net if we need to wrap our thread in the thread net to prevent any bunching and looping of the thread. So that's all included. And then a special embroidery foot that is clear. And you'll see it's got a center hole. It's got a big hole here. And then it's got a little hole, which is going to be for center needle position. So again, that needle will go through and not hit the foot. So a special clear embroidery foot. And then we have this very cool little, oh, what do we call these? Funnels is what I typically call them. Two different sizes here of grooves that, yes, one is bigger. You'll see one is bigger, one is smaller. And again, full instructions in the blister pack. So our yarn is going to go through these little funnels to keep our yarn directly under the needle. This is how we can do couching in the embroidery machine. And again, this works the same as the embroidery, similar, but slightly different in that this funnel, again, this cup link is very specific to this brush out embroidery kit. Also included is this big screw. You may be wondering, where is that big screw going to go? Well, again, when we look at our instructions, and it says to remove our needle clamp screw. So I'm holding onto my needle to make sure it doesn't fall out here. And I'm removing the needle clamp screw here of my CM17. And you'll see, oh, they're quite a bit difference in size. This one is for the embroidery, brush out embroidery kit. So we're going to put that in, put that in there and tighten that up. It doesn't have to be super, super tight, but we definitely want to give it a good little twist to tighten that up. And then this cup link is going to go over, this little funnel is going to go over that screw. Now, included with our CM17, for example, and in the embroidery couching kit for your 500E, 550E, and included in your Skyline S9, you have the similar funnel, which again goes over your needle clamp screw like that. But this funnel that comes with my CM17, for example, will not work on this big needle clamp screw. And this big funnel won't work on my existing needle clamp screw. It's too big. So that's why you have to take it out and remove it. Now, this needle clamp screw, perfect to put up on the magnets on our lid of our CM17. Now, if you don't have a CM17, you also have the Janome magnetic pin pal. You could put that needle clamp screw there so you do not lose it. Now, again, this clear foot is very similar to our existing Janome embroidery feet. So this clear foot comes included in the kit, the brush out embroidery kit. These are your yarn couching feet, the PC1 and PC2 that come with the CM17. So similar, but we're not going to use those. We're just going to use the ones that come included with the kit. And let me put this foot on very quickly. Don't you love this thumb wheel to get our needle up out of the way when I attach this foot? And for sure, we want to use the screwdriver here to tighten that up very nicely. So perfect. Now also that we can purchase, so we've got a hole in the foot where the yarn sits. So let's just do the setup and then I'll talk about what else is included. So with our yarn, we can use a variety of yarn. We want to make sure, again, it fits through that funnel. So I always suggest you take the funnel to your store and make sure that your yarn fits. So I'm going to try this yellow yarn. And what I'm going to do is try to find the end of it. And there we go. I'm going to use the big hook that comes included with our CM17 that is for embroidery couching. Ooh, there's that hook. Whoops, there's that hook right up there. I'm going to use this hook that we use for embroidery couching. And this way my yarn can just come around. We just put it in a big ball next to our machine and we put it down in this case, I'll use the big funnel and it just clips in there like that, no problem. So that is very cool. We want to make sure that we don't have our yarn pulled too tightly. Or then it won't embroider down as well. So double check your yarn. Again, this one is kind of like a little flat. It didn't stitch down well at all. This baby hair, very fine yarn. Again, that worked out really well. So you just have to experiment. Then I was having some fun. This yarn was a little too thick, but you know, you can separate the strands of your yarn like that, and then try putting this through those funnels. And then here is some blue that I was experimenting as well. It was a little too thick to go through the funnel, so I was just separating it all, and then now it becomes much thinner, much more malleable, so it's easier to use. So double check. Again, you take your little funnel to the craft store with you, to the discount store, but you can have so much fun with the variety of yarn. So in order to do these brush out designs, well, look, they conveniently come in this brush out embroidery design collection. So this is separate. So your brush out embroidery kit comes in this blister pack. And again, there is the part number. And then available to go with it as a separate purchase, though, is these Brush Out Embroidery Collection CD and this very handy book by our friend Trevor Conquergood from Stitchitize, proudly Canadian. But, you know, Janome America does have these in their warehouse as well. I double-checked before doing this presentation. These are in stock in both Janome Canada and Janome America warehouse. So in this book, they give you all the details, all the instructions here, little tips and tricks. And here are some of your designs, full color designs that are included in the CD. There's my little girl there. There's the ballerina. And again, there's 100 designs. So these are the actual size of the design. So you can see exactly which hoop they're going to stitch out. They are so fun. Again, we can spend forever looking at them all. There is a design for everyone. So I really need to speed up here, because then what I wanted to show you all is that, yes, in your computer, if you don't have a hard drive, if you don't have a CD reader in your computer, you get one purchased separately. It is for Windows-based operating system. So yes, not for Macs, just for Windows. But again, you purchase your inexpensive CD reader, you load it into your computer, and then it is so cool to find, there we go. There is my DVD. And then here we go. We've got brush out yarn instructions. We've got a whole PDF form. You can print it out if you wish. Again, it is in the book as well, but you can print this out as well if you wish. And again, step-by-step full color instructions on what to do. So no guesswork. Now, we have also in the CD, we've got the design info. So again, we've got 100 designs, and we click on each of them, and there you will see a page. Again, it's all in the book as well, but we can print it out. Whoops, so many things to show. We can print it out, and it tells you, there we go. It tells you the colors of thread that you're going to be using. There's your actual design, any kind of special instructions, the size of the design, all of that information is here. So you don't have to print out these. They're in the book, but I, again, like to print out everything. And even just on the disc, again, you don't have to print it out. You can just look at it on your computer, but instead I always print everything out. So there is all of your 100 designs. Now, when we go back into embroidery designs, and then here is your embroidery designs. Now, for me, they're going to open in my embroidery editor program that I have installed on my computer. It will also open in Artistic Digitizer. So here is, again, our design. So we can get a preview of the design, but again, it's all in that book. Now, when we're getting ready to copy these designs from the disk, we need to insert a USB stick into our computer. And again, we can just easily, in the USB drive, I have plugged in. Then I've got my embroidery folder, and specifically I'll go into my MBF folder, and I'll go and make a new folder that I'm going to call Brush Out Embroidery, or just for time's sake, I'll just BOE, Brush Out Embroidery, so we can find our designs more easily. And then when I go into my embroidery designs, I go back into my embroidery designs, and then whatever design I want, I can just highlight and then just drag it into my newly created folder. And boom, there it is. So we can select whichever ones we want. I ended up copying every one because I eventually want to stitch out every one of these. So once we get them onto our USB drive, we want to make sure we safely remove that USB drive. We just don't want to pull it out of the machine. We want to safely remove it from our computer, and then we can take it to our embroidery machine to then stitch out, because I know that's what you're all dying to see. So many designs that we can do. Ooh, let me just push this out of the way and out of the way. So yes, when we get ready to stitch, we're going to switch our machine over to embroidery very simply. And then when we plug in the USB stick into our machine, oh no, I didn't want to do that. I'm glad that we do have that resume mode. A lot of the time I do want to resume, but at first I wanted to show you all. When we look for our designs in the machine, again, when we are getting them from a USB stick, we're going to go down at the bottom here to this folder, file folder with the arrow out. We want to retrieve the file from the USB that's in the side of my machine here. So we go over, is it in USB number 1 or USB number 2? I know I saved my design within my embroidery file. I saved it, and there is embroidery, brush out embroidery, the new file that I've created, the new folder. So when I click on that folder, it just makes it easier to find your designs. Now you'll see here on the CM17, they're grouped already by the appropriate hoop size. The machine is already figured out. Oh, my sister Deb is here. Hello, hello. The machine has already figured out which hoop is going to be best to stitch this out. So again, even though these designs are quite old, the new machine recognized them and already did that thinking for us. So we can go over by the letter here. It says like YR009, for example. And that's going to coincide with the numbers here on our designs. YR, in this case, I want 084. This is the cute little sun I want to stitch out. So I just keep scrolling through my designs until I get to the correct one, which is that cute little sun there. So we click on him, and then it's going to move to the center position. So now I have my fabric hooped up with my stabilizer, and I'm just going to click this in. Ooh, but before I do, I'll show you. This is what I stitched out a little bit just so you could see. I always love using the basting function in our machines to hold up my layers all together. They're not going to move. But then this is how the yarn gets couched down. It's just a series of lines, straight lines that couch the yarn down. So just even without the yarn, it's kind of a cool design. But when we add the yarn to it, it just makes it even more special. So in order to get the yarn down into the center of the hoop, there are instructions included, but I've devised this easy little trick. I just drop my foot and then I bring my yarn under my needle and stab it a couple of times. Then I'll raise the foot and then just pull that yarn. There we go. And I can move, oops, my needle out of the way. And there, I pulled my yarn through the hole in that foot. And we want to make sure our yarns, that we don't have any slubs, any texture that is going to get caught up on the foot or caught up in this little funnel. So now then my yarn is through, and again I want to make sure I'm not pulling my yarn tight, so we just make sure there's some slack in it. If it pulls tight, it's not going to couch down as well. So then we can just start, and away we go. Now do yourself a favor when you're going to be doing this yarn couching or this brush out embroidery. You're going to put in a nice new sharp needle. I love using Janome red tip needles for most of my sewing. They are size 14, so we can use a larger, thicker thread. It's got a larger eye. I'm just going to trim that little loose thread there. There we go. And then again, a nice sharp point, so it'll go through the yarn, it'll go through the stabilizer. And there we go. It's that simple. Again, it's very similar to the embroidery couching that we already have included with the CM17 and Skyline S9. There's an embroidery couching kit for the 15,000 and the Memorycraft 550E, 500E, 450E. But then this specifically is the brush out embroidery kit that again comes with the special needle clamp screw that you'll replace your existing needle clamp screw. And again, you hang it up here in your magnets so you won't lose it. And then again, the special funnel that goes onto that needle clamp screw. And then your cute little brush that comes in this box. This is so adorable. And that's really the secret behind the embroidery, brush out embroidery, is by having the little brush. So this, again, is just going to stitch all on its own. And then because we have printed out, or again, we look in our book, because we've printed out the instruction here, or again, we get the, we get the special brush out embroidery collection. There is 100 designs, again, by our friend Trevor Conquergood at Stitchitize. Again, we've got all of the designs in here with all of the information. So unlimited creativity at your fingertips. And again, because when we print out all of these pages, again, and it tells you how big the design is, the colors being used. Now, the colors of threads as well, as we'll see in our, isn't that so beautiful? That is just so mesmerizing. The colors here in our embroidery machines, those are all Janome colors. So where we can get those, there's three. There's a set of 3 thread collections. There we go. That is number 1, number 2, and number 3. We can get these from our fabulous Janome dealer. And again, all the color numbers here of all the Janome embroidery designs are made with the Janome color palette. So it just makes it really easy to use the Janome color palette. That's what's built in as default into every Janome embroidery machine. But, you know, if you wanted to use your own colors, you can as well. You can either change the color in the machine, or you just supplement them yourself. So again, this is going to take a little while to do, but this is the base of my sun in this case. That's where you'll see those lines. It's going back and forth to basically couch that yarn down. And then I can brush out the sun if I choose. Now, again, some of the designs say, oh, you don't need to brush it out. You just couch it as is. But if I were going to brush it out, I would wait for it to completely finish. And then I would take the brush. Oh, and they do recommend around your fabric here, especially if it's delicate fabric, to avoid accidentally brushing over the fabric too much. You could take some, this is just a green painter's tape that you can put around your fabric there. So as I'm brushing this, you're not gonna, you know, hurt the fabric. So you can choose to brush it out. Again, some of the designs say, oh, you don't have to, you're just creating that texture. But if you are going to brush it, you can, again, protect your fabric with that green painter's tape, and that works out great. Once you have finished, typically the yarn couching part is the end of the design. In this case, it's going to be the beginning, because then we're going to stitch this little face and all the rays afterward. So again, all the guesswork, all the design information is there for you on the CD and in the booklet. And again, on the CD is where we can print out all these special instructions that tell us everything. Now, again, in this case, it says no brushing of the sun, but if you want to brush it, go ahead and brush it. It's entirely up to you. And then, yes, some more of these cute little designs. I had so much fun with these. And again, in this case, all of Santa's face was stitched first, and then the yarn was the last thing stitched down. And then, yes, I brushed it and brushed it and brushed it, and look at that. Now, if you needed to trim around Santa's face a little more, you could do that afterward. But isn't that cute? Now, there's the yarn that is not brushed. It was just great texture, but they're beautiful designs. They are digitized so beautifully. They're so much fun. Again, you just have endless creativity, and that's we can go on, and we will need another 35 minutes to stitch out the rest of this, so we won't do that in the presentation now. But again, it is the beginnings of such fun, some creativity, especially that beautiful sunshine for the summer. And I have to show my sister this because, yes, her daughter, Sydney, is, it's her birthday coming up. So, yes, isn't that adorable? So you can really customize and personalize everything now, more so with our cute little brush out embroidery kit. And again, this is a number of years old, but it is in the Janome Canada and Janome America warehouses. And again, you can just do so much more with your embroidery machine, even your modern day embroidery machine. There I am, lovely. So thank you, everyone. I know, as always, wow, that's a whirlwind of information. This is the great thing about, yes, it's live, but it's great that you can go back on the Janome HQ or Janome America YouTube channel, and here in Janome Canada Facebook or Janome America Facebook, that you can go back and review this presentation, stop and pause it as you need, because I'm throwing out all this information. There's a lot included in this kit, and there's so much that you can do. So definitely get from your fabulous Janome dealer. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Have a wonderful upcoming weekend. Thank you. Bye.